The Guild Europa 1410's demo is live, and while it's limited to 20 turns in one playthrough, there are a lot of things to do and paths to pursue. In this guide video, we'll take a look at 10 tips to help you accomplish whichever goal you want to pursue in whichever profession you choose. Starting with, use energy wisely. Your character only has a certain amount of energy, which is used for various activities available in the demo, such as pursuing a love interest, keeping a watchful eye on your employees for a production boost, or even engaging in city services. However, the energy is regained slowly during the day, with a larger chunk gained at the start of the next day, so it's crucial to figure out your priorities and where you want to invest your literal energy and time. Pursuing a family in the demo ends up consuming a lot of that energy and is a bit useless within the 20 turns, but it's still a great venture into the slice of the main game and well worth trying out in a run for sure. In one run, I managed 3 blacksmith shops, using my energy to monitor them all for an extra production boost across the businesses. And in another run, I focused heavily on engaging with city services as an alchemist to secure a few government positions. Use it any way you like, just don't stretch yourself too thin or you'll risk your own health. Speaking of those positions, let's take a look at getting into government. Positions in government are just one of the things that you can pursue while also operating your various businesses. However, much like using energy, you need to figure out where you want to be in the government and know how to get there. A couple of rules about offices. First, you must be a citizen to even be elected, which requires 20,000 gold in personal value to obtain the title. Next, there are 6 levels of offices, and you must start at level 1 before climbing up that ladder. However, while you can move vertically up the ladder, you cannot move horizontally, meaning that if you're at level 2, you cannot move to another level 2 position without resigning first. Each position comes with, at a minimum, a daily salary that adds to your wealth. Higher positions come with some seriously influential benefits, from overseeing entire districts and using the city's treasury to construct buildings that can improve the city itself, to making decisions on laws, to appointing people below you in office. And yes, you can totally use your power to further your own profession, like making potions legal, for instance. The best part is that literally as soon as you gain an office position, if there's a higher position available, you can submit your candidacy for that new position, allowing you to potentially climb that ladder very quickly. So check out every position and see where you want to go. On to your actual businesses though, with salary and treatment. As a business owner, you can run your smithy, your alchemist lab, or your inn how you see fit. But there is, at least in the demo, a balance you can strike to maximize productivity with salary and treatment. It's pretty simple. Max out your salary right at the start. It's only going to cost you a maximum of 200 gold per day if you have all 3 employees, which any successful businessman should be able to afford. The opinion boost from your employees will skyrocket, allowing you to then move on to treatment. Treatment affects how productive they are, and pushing treatment to exploitation, you get a production boost at the cost of lowering that opinion. It's not difficult to manage, as you can just turn up the treatment positively for a day, then shift back down. The real kicker is that there's nothing to indicate how much productivity you get from exploitation, so it's possible that it doesn't in the demo, but this will at least prepare you for the full game. Determining which businesses to start exploiting your employees though is just a matter of what job do you want. One of the better parts of this demo is the wide range of job types, even with the only 3 provided. But what kind of job do you want and what are your goals? Let me quickly break down the 3 jobs. First is the blacksmith, easily the most straightforward job. Until you level up your blacksmith enough, you'll only ever need a maximum of 2 raw resources. I ended up only using iron ingots, as the short sword sells for much more than the silver rings, and again, it just requires 1 resource. Life is simple for the blacksmith, and even once leveled up, it really only makes sense to make a single item and sell that at the market. Next is the alchemist, and it's definitely unique. Instead of having to purchase its resources at the market, you can send employees to pick up the necessary plants, saving you a potential fortune in resource costs at the expense of perhaps not making items as quickly. It does make a difference though, as you'll only ever need to purchase iron ingots to make bombs to sell at the market. That's right, my main source of income, which propelled me to the Baron status of 100,000 net worth value, was derived from making bombs. Lastly, the innkeeper, and probably the hardest and most varied job in the demo. Innkeeping is different in that while you can push goods to your own storefront in the other two jobs, innkeeping allows you to hire an employee with good negotiating skills to sell those products at your store at a much higher price than you could sell it at the market, giving you an incentive to keep things right there at the inn. That incentivizes the creation of multiple types of goods compared to the other two professions. There's more you can do as an innkeeper for your store as well, so there's that. What professions do you think you'll try to master? Let me know in the comments section down below. As a business person, one of the most important things to do is upgrade your business. Your businesses can expand in various ways, from increasing security to adding shelf space for more goods to boosting productivity and enhancing customer appeal. These are relatively cheap ways to increase the value of your business, which is necessary to level up the social ladder and for overall success. Then there's actually leveling up the building itself, which is achievable when you reach mastery level 3 in that respective business, which happens around 12 days into the demo, I believe. This allows you to expand in much more meaningful ways, from hiring another employee to further advances in the expansions mentioned before, not to mention opening an entirely new section of goods to produce. The return on investment from upgrades is such an easy decision. You should make them as soon as possible. It's not all fun and games running a business, since you'll need to keep an eye on maintenance and repairs. This is a small thing, but your buildings will experience the typical wear and tear of just being used, and the lower your building's integrity goes, the lower your building's appraised value, which could prevent you from climbing that social ladder I keep coming back to. You can choose to make some small repairs yourself at the cost of energy or paying gold. If you're tight on coin, I'd advise using that energy. It goes a decent long way. If you'd rather save your energy for more fruitful ventures, repairs can get costly, but again, worth it if you value what people think you're worth. Oh, and carts will also need repairing for the same reasons. And on the note of carts, you should buy a donkey cart. You start with a goat-pulled cart that only has one slot for goods. Buy a donkey cart as soon as you can so you can purchase 2 resources in one go or 2 sets of 1 resource. Travel between the market and the business is in real time, so 3 hours wasted making 2 trips isn't a good use of your time or your resources. Upgrade to the donkey cart, please. Of course, you don't have to purchase at the market. You can totally go to the source. If you plan ahead, you can go directly to the source of your resources, such as mines. They're a bit further away from the market, but on average, they are anywhere from 10 to 30% cheaper than the market value, saving you in a pinch, or if you're just a penny pincher of a business person. Definitely worth it if that's how you want to do business. The last 2 tips shift away from a direct line to your businesses, but let's start with bees, your new cash cow. If you explore around the city, you'll find all sorts of fun tidbits of life. Checking out Axe's Edge, you can spend some energy hunting for a queen bee with a decent chance for success. On that success, you can now construct a beehive, which at level 3 produces 2,000 gold per turn with no employees needed, and the only thing you need to worry about is keeping up with repairs. It takes almost 2.5 days to build, but you for sure want to invest in that level 3 for some easy cash. Last but not least, use your house. I wasn't aware of this, but you start with a house. 4 playthroughs later, I finally discovered that helpful bit of information, and it would have saved me in all of those previous runs. Your house is immensely useful, as it contains the same upgrade and expansion system as your business, albeit for purely personal gain. You can build a spyglass to spy on people, which gains evidence and report them for gold. You can increase your total energy and the amount of energy you gain at the start of a new day. You can unlock new skills to work on, or increase the sanitation of your district with a simple wash station. These upgrades are reasonably priced as well and could go a long way to making a better experience in the demo, so I definitely recommend focusing on them early in your playthrough. Having played the demo for nearly 10 hours by the time of this video, I can definitely say that it's worth a go. There are some UI UX pain points, and it's not perfect, but hopefully these tips will help you enjoy the game just that much more. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips of your own as you play, or just want to say thanks yourself, feel free to comment down below and support the channel by liking this video and subscribing for more content like this. If you want to support the game, you can go ahead and go wishlist it on Steam and check out the demo right now. This is Havoc, and I will see you in the next one.